Cherry here, and welcome back to my channel. Grand Fest is extremely soon, and I'm really excited for it. Like, it starts today. That's how soon it is. I'm so excited for Grand Fest though. I have been hoping for the Final Fest theme to be past versus present versus future since like last year. I've been a truther for this theme, and seeing it actually done and so well, I'm just so excited for it. Actually, I've been hoping for this for so long that like over a year ago, I made a fan idol group based off one of these teams. Now, ironically, it's not actually based off the team I'm gonna be going with. I've supported Team Present since way back when I first heard of this theme idea, but this team is actually based on Team Past, which probably seems strange until you realize that for as long as I've been hoping for this theme, I've also been seriously annoyed by everyone who's hoping that Team Past or Team Future would be a time travel thing. Now, this may be my Team Present bias, but I really like the way that the Splatoon series has changed over time and in parallel with our own time, and I think a time skip in either direction would break that in ways that aren't good for the series. But you can also just do fun things with the theme. Like, if you want to see a good example of a past theme done well in Splatoon, just look at Octo Expansion. If you want something futuristic, look at Side Order. Like, we already have examples of this cool stuff in the games. I don't see why we couldn't have cool stuff for like another game. And it's this sort of inspiration which led me to make the idol group I mentioned earlier. Thinking about what kind of music an idol group based on Team Past would have is how I got started thinking about this. But instead of just like thinking about old styles of music, I also thought about the history of Splatoon's own music. There's a lot of different musical styles already represented in Splatoon. From electronic pop music to punk music to like big band jazz stuff to like really weird experimental music, like all across the board. And I thought that contrast between all these clashing styles of music was really interesting and really representative of Splatoon as a whole. And I thought that making an idol group based on that would be really interesting. And so the theming of this group kind of went away from Team Past and was more about the contrasts. Having one character that's really bubbly and upbeat and really likes electronic music, and then another character who's really low-key but also like really edgy and punk and likes punk music, obviously. Having that tension in one band, it seems like a really cool concept and something I wanted to build around. But I did want to make sure that even if these characters have a lot of conflict and stuff, that they still work together. All of the tension should be surface level. So I made surface tension. That was like over a year ago, and I recently gave them some facelifts, so I figured I'd talk about them for a little bit and also show you the speed paints of their redesigns. First off is Bubble, the upbeat, outgoing, energetic Octoling who really likes electronic music and really wants to be an idol. Fun fact about Bubble, she was actually an OC of mine before Surface Tension. She's from a little group of Splatoon OCs I had, and she's basically the only surviving member of it because she was my favorite. Bubble is really upbeat and optimistic, but she's also really ambitious and driven. She really wants to be an idol, but she also like knows how. She's done her research on like how to network and who to talk to, how to get places. She hasn't been as successful as she could have been because she also like wants to do her own style of music and doesn't like the idea of signing with a label or something. She wants to go really independent, but she can also kind of come off as like really ditzy and airheaded, so people tend to not take her very seriously. But she's actually like really intelligent and really driven. She knows what she's doing. She's really good at making music. She's just really cool. I like her a lot. She also can get angry really easily. I think it's funny when the cute characters have anger issues. So that's what I did to her. In a society where teenage squids and octopuses can get water guns that kill people, Bubble is just a menace with her splatlings sometimes. Yeah, she's a splatling, by the way. Way back before Surface Tension, Bubble was originally an Octarian. And while she's been changed to have been from Splatsville the entire time, I think it would be kind of funny if she was still technically Octarian. Like, maybe after the Great Turf War, news came to like the Inkopolis area about a peaceful land over in the Splatlands, and some of the Octarians wanted to go over there and settle there, but Octavia was like, no, we're not leaving. And so there was a little bit of a split, and so now in the Splatlands because there's just an Octarian clan. I think that would be very funny. But yeah, no, Bubble's just gone through several different iterations. Originally, her ink color was pink, but when she got transported into Surface Tension, her bandmate just refuses to be anything other than like an orangey red color. So she had to change her color. Fortunately, her color palette is very flexible. When she joined Surface Tension, her ink color got changed to be blue, but then I learned that blue and orange is kind of like the most basic color duo for fan idols, and like that's not dissing on any fan idols that are blue and orange or blue and red or something. It's just very common from what I've seen, and I've seen a lot of Splatoon fan idols. So I decided to change it up a little bit for the redesign and make her green. I think it's a fun color. I kept some of the other colors from her previous design and put in some new ones too. She's just a lot more colorful now. She also initially had a lot of like Harajuku vibe. I forget what the exact style she had was. I'll probably put it on screen or something, but I decided for the redesign to dial it down because like she can have a lot of details, but that many details is too many to draw. But there were some things I decided to keep. For instance, like her headphones, her big plushie necklace, which I think I drew way too small in this reference image. It needs to be way bigger. Originally, she was like based off like an umbrella octopus, which has like a membrane between the tentacles so she could have bangs, but I cut those off because you couldn't see her cute little heart-shaped eyebrows with the bangs on, and I think those are cute and people need to be able to see them. Anyways, that's Bubble. And now to move on to the other half of Surface Tension, who I cannot settle on a name for. When I first conceived of her name was Mags because she was based off of a big fin squid, I think is the name. And the classification of those is like Magna Pina or something. And so I named her Mags Pina based off that because I couldn't come up with a name for her. But I really hate that. And so like I've been trying to come up with another name. The one I go for this ref is Lur. I'm not super happy with that. I'm thinking of maybe like Base or Drop or maybe just Anchor because she has one. I don't know. Name suggestions would be great. But yeah, I'm just gonna call her Lur for now. This is Lur. She's the second half of Surface Tension. She's very chill, very laid back, but also kind of like edgy. She likes to poke fun at people. She's very headstrong. She's just a punk through and through, pretty much. She has strong opinions about everything, basically. Both of them actually have strong opinions about everything, and they disagree on a lot of things, but they tend to settle on respecting the fact that the other person is willing to throw down over their opinions. Lur grew up in Splatsville. Some of the lore, I'm not entirely caught up with Splatoon lore, but some of the lore of Splatoon suggests that, or like I always got the vibe that not all of the Splatlandian clans live in Splatsville directly. I don't know whether or not that's true, but I know that Lur lives in Splatsville. She's lived there her whole life. She's grown up there. I imagine that Splatsville was kind of like a shithole. I don't know the correct words for the situation. Back when Splatsville was like a nowhere place, not on the map, just really run down, really poor. And she like grew up in the worst of it, basically. I figure like the place where she lived got gentrified, like it got demolished and a shopping mall got built there or something. I don't know. But yeah, she grew up really rough and really liking music the entire time. It's like there was no normal jobs for her when she grew up. So she was like, okay, well, I guess I'll just do music, and if that doesn't work, I'll just die. Whatever. There are more job opportunities now, but there's also more musical opportunities with Deep Cut getting really super popular and doing like the main Splatfest celebrations in Splatsville. There's just been like a lot more noise for Splatlandian bands and stuff. Anyways, that's all like world building for my Splatoon OCs. I'm so fucking in deep with these guys and I haven't made a single song for them. Back to Lur. She's been through a lot, but she's always tried to stay true to herself, and that's how she's gotten through it. One of the things she likes to do is join bands that aren't necessarily strictly a punk style just so she can learn from it. She's a lot more open-minded than, I don't know, like the sort of punk style like really intimidating looking, but I figure she's like actually super chill and fun and like cool. I figure she's probably been in like, maybe like Yoko had a band between Ink Theory and the Gold Bazookas that Lur was in for a little bit. Like maybe Lur was like in a couple other bands, like a country band or something. I don't know, that would be funny. Just like like a bunch of other like weird genres of music. And part of the reason why she joined Surface Tension is because Bubble makes really like upbeat, very electronic, very pop music, just like the polar opposite of her normal music style. And so she's like, yeah, I'm down to figure out how this sounds. For her redesign, I really wanted to change her hair, but she refused to let me change her hair. So instead I just changed like the ink color a little bit. I had so much trouble trying to redesign her because like she's just Lur. That's just how she looks. I wanted to like give her a different ink color. I wanted to try to turn her blue or something. She's like, no, I'm gonna stay orange. And so eventually I figured out I could just dye like the roots of her hair kind of black. Like that's the idea at least. And then I changed up her outfit because I could. She barely let me, but I figured out how to. Also, like one tiny thing I don't think I explained all that well earlier. There's a lot of contrast between these two characters, but one of the big ones I want to emphasize is like an up and down motion. Bubble is the up, Lur is the down, which is why I'm thinking of like naming her like drop or anchor or something for like the downward motion to be in the name in the similar way that Bubble's upward motion is in her name. But I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out a good name for Lur. I'm probably gonna have to redraw Lur's rough sheet at some point because I decided that hook in her ear is actually on the other ear. Anyways, that's Lur. I'm gonna have to give her another name at some point. And yeah, that's Surface Tension. I'm probably gonna throw up some Grand Fest art of them if I have it. If I finish it in time. Honestly, thinking about which team they'd pick for Grand Fest, I do think they'd be in Team Past. I get the feeling that the past is really important in Nocturian culture, and I'd also think that like the Octarian clan would still hold a grudge to the loyalist Octarians, and it's kind of hard to hold a 100-year grudge if you didn't value the past. And also Bubble just follows in the footsteps of the idols that came before her for her own path. So the past is obviously important to Bubble. And then for Lur, the past is where she came from and how she like got to where she is. I feel like she holds on to like those memories of like how hard it was for her when she was younger, so that she doesn't take everything that's gone good for her and everything that's gone better for Splatsville in general better. She's got a whole lot of hometown pride, and I think it's kind of hard to have that sort of hometown pride if you didn't value the past. So even though Surface Tension kind of wildly changed from the original past theme inspiration, I think there's still really good fits for Team Past. So they're repping Team Past, and I'm not. I'm on Team Present. Anyways, that's it from me. I've got some socials or whatever. I've also got commissions open. I got time off work so I could play Grand Fest. I'm so excited. Whether you're Team Past, Present, Future, or you don't play Splatoon at all, I hope you have a great weekend, and that's gonna be it from me. I've been Cherry, and I haven't actually been losing sleep over writing music for these guys. I should get on that. See y'all next time.